Language learning is quite broad, and it entails the use of language for thousands of things. A teaching approach for professionals that has been popular for the last 35 years is teaching English for specific purposes. That is, after language learners achieve an intermediate level in a language, they begin to master the vocabulary, grammar, and communication needs necessary for using English as a tool professionally. There are many that argue that this approach is unnecessary, as general language learners will be able to use the skills that they have gained in the regular lessons to perform adequately in specific areas. They, however, are wrong. Basically, English for specific purposes can be a cost-effective and less intrusive approach for adult language learners to learn and use English in a professional setting with their customers and colleagues at a proficient level that allows them to be effective in a workplace setting. The objective of English for specific purposes is to achieve an intermediate level of general English use and an advanced level of language use in specific areas of expertise like medicine, accounting, engineering, and so on. Every profession has 3,000 to 5,000 vocabulary words that need to be memorized for communication to occur. This can be a good approach for many workers, especially those who work for large companies, either overseas or travel a great deal as a result of their job duties. English for specific purposes uses a customized curriculum for individuals that are already at intermediate level of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. The focus on curricula for English for specific purposes learners is on language use in the context of specific professions, and the goal is to convert general learners of English into users. English for specific purposes uses a more practical and goal-oriented approach to studying languages in comparison to some general language courses. The focus is primarily on communication within a profession and is generally considered to result in high intrinsic motivation in students. The methodology helps language learners gain the necessary language skills that are needed in a specific discipline or field. One of the downsides to using the methodology is that many language learners have only encountered a second language through grammar translation instruction, which focuses mainly on teaching grammar through translation in combination with drills, repetition, and memorization. Making the transition from this type of classroom to one that is based on the whole language method can be difficult. English for specific purposes uses a more practical and goal-oriented approach to studying languages in comparison to some general language courses. The focus is primarily on communication within a profession and is generally considered to result in high intrinsic motivation in students. The methodology helps language learners gain the necessary language skills that are needed in a specific discipline or field. One of the downsides to using the methodology is that many language learners have only encountered a second language through grammar translation instruction, which focuses mainly on teaching grammar through translation in combination with drills, repetition, and memorization. Making the transition from this type of classroom to one that is based on the whole language method can be difficult. Languages are used for communication, and knowing multiple languages can be an asset professionally when used in the right manner. A practical approach, whether it be through self-study or a hybrid classes, that allows students to maintain their intermediate level of English language proficiency in combination with the benefits of the communication methodology, vocabulary and curriculum, and technical education from English for specific purposes studies can benefit language learners professionally and give them the motivation that is necessary to continue their study, as the skills they are learning can be applied as a communication tool that can assist in making them more effective at work. The components of English for specific purposes courses are practical and differ from general English courses. Ideally, they should include both general English language learning methodology that is tailored to specific professions to maintain and build upon language acquisition that has already occurred. The communicative approach is practical in that it can assist students in using their second language to improve their effectiveness in communicating in a second language in professional settings. In general, the motivation level of these students is high, as they can be assisted in gaining promotions, earning more money, and bettering their job performance as a result. We believe that a more practical lifelong approach should be taken in engaging in language study than is typically used in English for specific purposes instruction, but we do like that it is motivating. We encourage you to engage in both, but recognize the limitations of the English for specific purposes methodology. That is, it focuses on only one aspect of language use, it is not holistic, and it only improves language use for a tool in specific settings. Confidence can be a huge factor in using a second language, so it is a better idea to enroll in an English for specific purposes course for a limited period of time and continue general English studies thereafter. We believe that using the language in multiple environments can be more practical in combination with assisting individuals in using the language for specific fields, as well as improving their ability to engage in small talk and so on. Thanks for taking the time to watch our video. We appreciate your support, and we hope that your understanding of what English for specific purposes curricula include. We encourage you to visit the links below this video's description, which have more information on studying English for specific purposes in combination with some vocabulary lists that can be used for English language learners working in specific professions. Finally, please like, share, and subscribe, and we wish you the best of luck.